our questions on GP. So let's write the title here, geometric. I'll be very fast, so you try and up your listening, please. Let's start from geometric progression, GP. A geometric progression is also called a GP. Do you understand? Now, first thing we have to learn in geometric progression is also the nth term. The nth term of a GP is given by AR raised to power n minus 1, where Tn is the nth term. Where Tn is the nth term, A is the what? What's A? First term. In AP and GP, A refers to first term. R is the what? Common ratio. R is the common ratio. And what? And N is called the term number. Exactly. So in these examples in number 14, the first question says that, okay, in each question we have to find the T4, T7, and what? And T9, which are the 4th, 7th, and 9th term of each of these geometric progressions. So in question A, we have to find T4, T7, and T9 for the progression 3, 6, 12, 24, and so on. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now for the progression 3, 6, 12, 24, you need to write fast. For the progression 3, 6, 12, 24, what you need to do here is very simple. Just write an expression for the common ratio. For the progression 3, 6, 12, 24, what you need to do is remember that we said your common ratio, that my common ratio is given by what? T2 over T1, or common ratio is T3 over T2, or common ratio is T4 over 3. So you can take any of these. So that means in this question, my common ratio will be what? 6 over 3, and that gives me 2. You understand? Or if I don't want to use that, I can use common ratio is 12 over 6. That also gives me what? 2. So that means my common ratio is what? 2. So I know my common ratio as 2. I also know my first term, which is A, as what? 3. Is that clear?
Yes.
So I can use the formula to find any term I need now. That means using the formula, Tn is AR raised to power n minus 1. My 4th term, which is T4, will be what? A, which is 3. Common ratio, which is 2. Raised to power 4 minus 1. My n is now 4 when I'm looking for the 4th term. So that gives me what? 3 into bracket 2 raised to power 4 minus 1 is what? 3. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So that gives me 3. That gives me 3 into bracket 2 raised to power 3, and that gives me 3 into bracket 8. 2 raised to power 3 is the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2, and that gives me 8. So 3 times 8 is what? 24. 24 is my 4th term. I also need to find the 7th term. The 7th term will be what? AR raised to power
n
minus 1. So that means my T7 will be A is 3, R is 2, n minus 1 will be 7 minus 1. That's 3, 2 raised to power 6. 2 raised to power 6 is 64. So that gives me 3 times 64. What is 3 times 64? You press your calculator to get that. Let's also find T9. T9 will also be given by AR raised to power n minus 1. You understand? So my T9 will be A, which is 3, common ratio R, which is 2, raised to power 9 minus 1. That gives you 3, 2 raised to power 8. 9 minus 1 is 8. What is 2 raised to power 8? 256. So 3 times 256 will give you your T9. 769. So let's go to question B. What's in question B? Question B. What's in question B? Question B.
5.
The GP in question B is 5, 2.5.
1
over 4.
5 over 8.
5 over 8, and so on. So that means in this GP, since we already know this is a GP, what's my first term? T1. A.
5.
What's my second term? T2. 2 and a half.
2 and a half.
I can write 2 and a half as 5 over 2 for easy calculation. So my common ratio will be what?
T2 over T1.
That gives me 5 over 2 all over 5. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So that's 5 over 2 divided by 5 over 1. That's 5 over 2 times 1 over 5. 5 will cut 5. That gives me my common ratio as well.
1 over 2.
So that means in this GP now, you know your A, which is the T1 as 5, and you also know your common ratio as well.
1 over 2.
1 over 2. So if you need any term, like we are asked to find the fourth term. Fourth term will be AR raised to power n minus 1. That will be what? A, which is 5, R, which is 1 over 2, raised to power 4 minus 1. So that gives you 5, 1 over 2, raised to power 3. That gives you 5. 1 over 2 raised to power 3 is 1 over 8. Because 1 over 2 raised to power 3 will be 1 over 2 times 1 over 2 times what? 1 over 2. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. That gives you 1 over 8. So this will give you what?
5 over 8.
Your T4. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and find T7. T7 too will be given by AR raised to power n minus 1. So that means T7 will be what? A, which is 5. T7 will be A, which is 5. R, which is 1 over 2. Raised to power 7 minus 1. 7 minus 1 is what? 6. So that's 5 times 1 over 2 raised to power 6. That's 5. 1 over 2 raised to power 6 is 1 over 64. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So my T7 will be 5 over 64. Let me look for T9 also. How will I get T9 for this sequence? T9 will be AR raised to power n minus 1. So that's 5. 1 over 2, excuse me, 1 over 2 raised to power 9 minus 1. So that gives you 5 times what? 1 over 2 raised to power 8. Now, 5 times 1 over 2 raised to power 8. We do everything that's in brackets first. 1 raised to power 8, 1. 2 raised to power 8 is what? 256. So that gives me 5 over what? 256. That's my T9 for this time. Let's go to question C. What's in question C?
5.
You have to look for what?
5
minus 10, 20 minus 40,
and 80.
Dot, dot, dot. So my first term here, this is a GP2. My first term here is what? 5. My common ratio will be second term over first term. That gives me minus 10 over 5. So that means my common ratio is minus 10 over 5. What's minus 10 over 5? Minus 2. So if my common ratio is minus 2, my what? Fourth term. That means, what does that mean? That means I know my first term now as 5. I know my common ratio as minus 2. I can look for any term in the series or sequence. T4 will be A R raised to power n minus 1. So that's what? 5.
Yes, sir.
R is what? Minus 2 raised to power what?
4 minus 1.
Let me remove the brackets on this. A 5, then minus 2 raised to power 4 minus 1. So that means my T4 will be 5 minus 2 raised to power 3. Now, minus 2 raised to power 3 is the same thing as minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2. So if you enter this in your calculator correctly,
minus 8.
It should give you minus 8. Let me clean up that. Minus 8. So that means my T4 will be 5 times minus 8. And that gives you minus 40. Also, I need T7. T7 is AR raised to power n minus 1. It's given by AR raised to power n minus 1 too. So that's 5. R, what's that? Minus 2 raised to power 7 minus 1. So that will give me 5 minus 2 raised to power 6. Now, whenever your power T7, that means my T7 will be what? 5. What's minus 2 raised to power 6? Minus 2 raised to power 6 is
minus 64.
No, it will be plus 64. Whenever your power is odd, your answer will be negative. Whenever your power is even, your power will be positive. Exactly. So what's 5 times 64 will give you a T7. Let's look for T9. What will be the value for T9? T9 is also given by AR raised to power n minus 1. That's 5 times minus 2
2
raised to power 9
9
minus 1. So that gives me 5 times minus 2
4
raised to power 8.
8.
Because my power is even, 8 is even, my answer will be positive. So that will give me 5 times 2 raised to power 8 is what? 256. 256. If you are doing this with your calculator, the bracket must be there. The bracket must be there. So you say open bracket minus 2 close bracket raised to power 8 before your answer can be correct. What is 5 times 256? So my T9 will be what?
1280.
1280. That solves the problem there. Next question is in D. We have to find
1
T4. D, the series in D is 1 minus
minus
1 over 2 1 over 4
minus
1 over 8 and so on. Exactly.
Yes.
So here my first term is T1 and it's also called A, which is 1. My second term is what? Minus 3 over 2. I can easily write minus 1.5 here as minus 3 over 2. So here my common ratio will be what? My common ratio, what will it be?
Minus 3 over 2.
Good. T2 formula first over T1. So that gives you minus 3 over 2 over 1. And that's minus 3 over 2. So your common ratio is minus 3 over 2. And your first term is what? 1. So first thing I need T4. T4 will be given by AR raised to power n minus 1. So that means T4 will be what? What's A?
A is 1.
What's R? Minus 3 over 2 raised to power 4 minus 1. So that gives me 1 minus 3 over 2 raised to power what? 3. That gives me 1. You understand? My answer is, my power here is odd. So my answer will be what? My answer will be negative. Minus 27 over what? 8. If you cube minus 3, you get minus 27. When you cube 2, you will also get what? 8. So 1 times minus 27 over 8 will give me minus 27 over 8. That's my T4. My T5, what will my my T7? What will T7 be? T7 will also be given by AR raised to power n minus 1. So what's your A? 1. What's your R?
Minus 3 over 2.
N minus 1 here now will be 7 for n minus 1. So that gives me 1 minus 3 over 2 raised to power 6. My power is now even. So the answer for this expansion will be what? Positive. That's going to give me 1. That's to be. That's going to give me 1 times 3 raised to power 6 is what?
3 over 64.
3 raised to power 6 is not. No. 3 raised to power 6. 27 times 27, that should be 729. 2 raised to power 6 is 64. So times 1. Multiply that by 1, you get 729 over 60. Just leave it in fraction like this for T7. Next is T9. Let's look for T9. What will T9 be?
A.
T9 now will be A will also be given by AR raised to power n minus 1. So that's 1 times R minus 3 over 2 raised to power 9 minus 1. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
That will give us 1
minus 3 over 2 raised to power 8.
So we can actually simplify this. This is the same thing as 1 times minus 3 raised to power 8 over 2 raised to power 8. Because the fraction raised to power 8 means everything on the numerator is raised to power 8. Anything on the denominator too is raised to power 8. What's minus 3 raised to power 8?
Minus 3 raised to power 8.
2 raised to power 8 is what? What's 2 raised to power 8? That should be 256.
256.
What's 3 raised to power 8?
6561.
6561. So my answer will be 6561 over 256. That solves the problem there for Tina.